I think we'll continue conversations around economic development and, MIPSTers. These are ongoing conversations. I know that they were things that many of us had hoped to address prior to getting the budget done, but there's plenty of time to do more work on this, and I think you'll see us have some activity on both fronts.
Are you still advocating for it, though? Storefront 2.0?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the legislature is not in session right now, so everyone's taking a breather. There's a lot of other stuff going on. Come on over, Joe. He's like, do I want to? So, yeah, I think that we will continue that conversation.
Governor, why did you veto the money for the gun range bill or money and the Invest Detroit grant?
When we don't negotiate things, I don't think anyone should be surprised that they're taken out of the budget. So I'm comfortable with that. If the colleagues who put those items in want to have a conversation, I'm open to it, but that was the rationale.
This is the third straight budget where hundreds of millions of dollars gets added to the budget in the final hours of passage. Do you want to see like a 5-day rule where everyone's special projects has to get disclosed with their name on it before it ends up being voted on?
You know what, budget process is messy, and it's why people say it's like sausage making, right? And often these budgets come together in the last moments of negotiations, and I'm not going to speak to the individual items that I think you're probably referring to, but I recognize that there are always ways we can improve the system.
Representative Cabot has said that about $300 million is basically taken away from school safety, and $670 million is cut from pensions. This is obviously a problem for a lot of people. So what's your response there?
Well, I'd say that's not an accurate portrayal of what we did in the school aid budget. The school aid budget still has the resources. We make a historically high investment in our public education system. I wanted to articulate specific things, and you would have seen that in the budget that I introduced. Legislature wanted to give districts more flexibility, and so that's what they have. It does not mean a cut in mental health. It does not mean a cut in any other things. That will be decided at the local level, though, and that's why people who want to make sure that those dollars get there need to be talking with their districts. Did I miss anything? Okay.
Governor, did GM or Bedrock ask the state for money to redevelop the Remsen?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you anticipate the state will play any role in the redevelopment of that site?
Well, it's not unusual for the state to play a role when, like Michigan Central, for instance, when there are new opportunities coming online, but it's in the public interest. And so I would anticipate that there will be probably lots of different types of conversation. A lot of the big things that we've been able to get done are partnerships, public and private stakeholders in many different sectors. So I'm not saying for sure because I think it's yet unknown.
Let me ask you also about this $130 million for free pre-K, which expands it to any 4-year-old who wants it. I'm someone who grew up in the city of Detroit, and for a very, very long time, my family always felt because we could afford it, we should pay for pre-K, and that money could be better spent for kids who are indigent. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be the parent or the child of a doctor. Yeah. Do you think that millionaires should get free pre-K for their 4-year-olds?
Well, I understand the argument that all things should be means tested. I get that. And I do think that people with more means should bear more, should make a greater investment. But at the end of the day, we don't want that determination to rest on whether or not all kids are able to participate in universal pre-K. It is something that inures to all of our benefit. When every child has that opportunity, they're more likely to graduate. They're more likely to have a skill set that they can jump into and be a good participant in our economy and have opportunity for themselves. That's the preliminary reason for me wanting to do universal pre-K. So I do think that if a family that has means but chooses not to send their child, that we all pay a price for that, and that's why we wanted to make it universal priority for the state.
And if I can just add, the budget as passed prioritizes families below the 400% federal poverty lines. We want to make sure students who are low income get the first crack at those slots that are open. On top of the return on investment that we've seen in early childhood is one of the best that you can get.
We'll take one more question.
Governor, do you want the legislature to pass a corporate income tax increase during lame duck?
I'm not proposing any corporate income tax increase right now.
The Gordie Howe Bridge is celebrating a milestone. What are your reactions to that? And
It's really exciting. I love bridges, and I'm excited. I think we're going to show the world that you can work in partnership with a foreign nation and solve problems together, and I think it's going to be a great thing and a tribute to a person who is revered on both sides of that bridge.
Okay, I need to pull the governor,
All right.
but the legislators or